Thanks for watching News Echoes. Here we give you information, we give you the latest news, and we do our own analysis so that you can be well informed. My name is Segun Johnson, and I'm glad you are watching. We are all over the news media of the world, operating right from the center of Europe. One of us is in Italy, the other in London, and I'm anchoring from the heartland of the capital in the United Kingdom. You're welcome to this special program. In the studio with me from London is Nath Iyakwo. Nath, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody.
From the city of Milan is our man, MacGodwin. Mark, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sir Segun. Thank you very much for another program today.
Yes, so many things are going on today. How about the end of an era, according to Joe Biden? We understand that he's no longer fighting the battle of 2001, but we are fighting the battle of 2021 and beyond. It's about the future of America. That's why America removed itself from Afghanistan, albeit with so many challenges. But we are here to make your eyes open so that you can make up your mind whether the fault was Joe Biden's, Donald Trump, America's, or there could have been no other way to do it except the way we have seen. And it has led to epic proportion of movement of the Afghans to different parts of the world, Iran, Pakistan. But let us call our in-house researcher to bring us up to date. Nat, can you bring us up to date on the Afghanistan withdrawal by the West?
Thank you very much. The withdrawal deadline was yesterday, August 31st, 2021, 11:45 p.m. That was the deadline. And what America succeeded in doing is to move out their core military personnel. There are still a number of American civilians in Afghanistan. UK also did their best to pull out their military personnel, but UK still has many British citizens or many of those Afghans who supported the Allied forces, US, UK, NATO, Germany, and even France. It is the military unit that is fully out, but we still have a lot of Afghans who work for the Allied forces. They are still in Afghanistan. They have the right papers, the documentation, everything they have, but time was not on their side. But if we look at what some of the big video clips we have been viewing, especially the Taliban took over that airport, they were celebrating, they were jubilating. The story is not divided into two main parts. They are saying they have defeated America. America had challenges towards the end of the pullout. 13 Marine officers were killed and one or two civilians injured. But if you look at some of the things, especially equipment that USA left behind, we were talking of 75 aircraft, 100 armored vehicles and tanks, and so many other things. But the joy or the consolation the Americans have given is that all those aircraft, all those vehicles have been demobilized. The Afghan people cannot use them, even though the AK-47, AK-49, and other assault weapons some of them ended up in the hands of the Taliban, which they are using now against the Americans. So, but the issue, the challenge is going to be, will Afghanistan as a country, will Taliban be able to run Afghanistan as a country in the 21st century? That is the question.
Yes, Nat, we will come to that in a minute because
Yes.
it's important we discuss that. But let me ask Mark in Milan. Mark, was it an American withdrawal or a defeat of the American government? Which one will you say?
Let's just put it that this is the end of foreign invasion in Afghanistan. It's both ways, Dr. Segun. A defeat to not only America, to the West, and an end to invasion. So what we've been seeing for the past 1 month now is what you call human beings standing up to their own lives. The Afghans want to have their lives, and they've done it through the Taliban, even though to the detriment of some percentage of that the citizens. What we've also seen is what you call bad planning and ill advice, governmental bad planning and ill advice. What we've also seen is what you call the end of the Western forces in most foreign countries. This is the end of that. Now,
okay, let me ask you, sorry to jump in. The British government and probably the British people were disappointed in the United States tactics, and the British Prime Minister did not mince words at all. And is this the same case concerning the Schengen countries, France, Germany, and Italy? Were they disappointed like the British Prime Minister, or they felt there was no other way?
They were disappointed.
Okay.
Yes, France and Germany, Italy, and the G7, most of the European G7 were all disappointed because that whole operation looked so, I mean, there were real deaths. People died, and they are keeping that. They're not saying that. A lot of people died, and so many casualties, and you don't end a governance like that. Everything was done so shabbily. So, like Ambassador Nath said, equipments are left behind, billions of dollars worth of equipment. And these are things that America took time to take over there.
Now, but there is a question. Why will America do that? Are they that dumb? Why will America do that?
Yes, Ambassador Nath said something vital, but to an extent, I don't know if that what we are monitoring from here, that they disactivated most of the armories and the Humvees and weapons. But the thing is, these guys are good at assembling things also. Remember that this is not the first time they are having such encounter. Russians invaded Afghanistan, and Russians left like US is leaving now. They left with their tail on their back, hush hush. And Russians left behind them exactly the same thing: equipment, arms, and everything.
There's one question: what is special? What is special about Afghanistan that Russia had to invade them, that America had to invade them? What is special about this country?
Number one is it's an historical landmark country. Number two is Afghanistan has oil. Afghanistan has some precious materials and precious minerals.
Like lithium.
Yes, that the world needs. So they don't just go there to invade them. They go to also take from those things.
So
Afghanistan
have they
has,
finished extracting them? Is that why they're leaving? They finish with it and then they can leave.
well, no, not in that sense. They've obviously not finished. Minerals don't finish like that. Well, the extraction of minerals, the gain from minerals is not as much as also holding the people. But Afghanistan has a lot of things. It's the center of, there's a precious ointment in Afghanistan, a blue-colored crystal-like ointment. And it is only in Afghanistan that you have that precious ointment. Also, there are many other mineral resources there. And we also know that it's the center of what you call marijuana. The marijuana from Afghanistan is a special one. That's why they behave the way they behave, because they're all smoking marijuana.
I hope you are not traveling to Afghanistan soon. Now, let me ask Nath in London. Why are the Afghans afraid of their own government? Many of them believe in their ideology. That's why the military just melted. But now we see that many Afghans are leaving their own country. Look at them walking like exodus, biblical proportion. Why is it that Afghans are afraid of the Taliban government, even though they agree to come and rule over them now? Please, Nat, open our eyes.
Well, the Afghans have not agreed that Taliban should come and rule over them now.
But
Because
their soldiers did not oppose them.
yeah, some of them who are at least 20 years old now, who were even born 20 years ago, they have experienced the government by Taliban, especially when it comes to implementation of the Sharia laws. Some, especially the women have had some sort of liberation for 20 years, but now it's disappeared into thin air, and the issue of the uncertainty of the unknown. They don't know what tomorrow holds. The average Afghan, and so it is better to head west, where they've had a taste. They've had a Western type of life for the past 20 years, and if they can leave Afghanistan to the Western world, they have a better future, even though maybe not as bright as they would have liked it in their own country.
Okay, tell us this Sharia law that everybody is dreadful of. Before the Americans came or the Westerners came, in 20 years ago, they were practicing Sharia law. We are saying this because some Muslims, even in the Western world, in Germany, in Britain, in France, they want the Sharia law to be stamped on these societies. Though, of course, these Western societies have said, no, we accommodate you, but not your culture. Now, what is so wrong or negative about the Sharia laws that people don't want, even the Afghans don't want? That's why they're running away. Just quickly tell us in few
Well,
words.
the Sharia law has its own code of behavior, which includes segregation of society into two main parts: the gender, male and female, and the female gender are more disadvantaged, and the female danger stand to lose so much liberty, and they are to be seen, not even seen or heard. They should always be behind the veil, and no rights, no privileges, especially for the female gender. And even though the Taliban had promised they have changed, they are not the Taliban of 20 years ago, but that is just PR stunt. Nobody is believing them. They already started going from house to house with a list, especially the female journalists, doctors, judges, civil rights women who are demonstrating, and so that's it. And even the men too, they don't really have everything going for them. They have to strictly comply by the Sharia law.
So they don't want female judges, they don't want female doctors, they don't want female drivers, they don't want. Well, let me ask Mark in Milan. France is very, very skeptical about the Islamic culture, up to the point that they have banned hijab. How is Europe feeling about all these Sharia laws? In London, it appears that they will have had their ways in places like Walthamstow of London and some other parts, Luton, which is another town not far from London. But how is the Italy coping? We know France stands; they are very strict on it, and of course, we remember the Hebdo killings and all the rest. Well, how is the Europe feeling right now?
Well, except for France, I'm not sorry. Along with France, Europe is also not taking in the niqab, the Sharia law thing, because this is Europe. This is the West. It's not an Islamic. They are not Islamic. So, but they allow them to have their prayers. They allow them to walk around freely, but there are limits to what they do. The hijab is not permitted. Women we are to see the face, except for now that we have the masks on. Everybody has masks. So Germany, Italy, France, Spain are all following up as European tradition, not Sharia tradition.
I remember when Angela Merkel accepted some Iranians and Iraqis into the country, up to 1 million a few years ago, and the men were shouting on the German girls, "Go and put on a veil, go and put on a veil." And many people were embarrassed all over the world. I hope, has that one stopped now, or they're still insisting women should cover up every part of their body while they live in Germany and France and Spain?
There are resistance in such things. Even while I speak for Europe, sometimes they exhibit that. There are resistance because it is in their culture to say that it is how they perceive life, that the woman should be covered. The woman should not be seen at all, except inside her house. So there are resistance, even in Italy. Once in a while, we see small situations like that, but it can't overwhelm the Europeans, because a lot of things demand that you show your face. There are cameras, there are everything, so you can't hide your face and expect to have some services, for example. So yes, and I want to say also, what is happening now with the Afghan coming to Europe, UK mostly, we believe it won't repel, it won't boomerang against them, because some of these people are still that mentality is still there. Yes, and they come in with their children. These children now will grow up to begin to think very funny. So we hope they just imbibe the European culture instead of bringing this strange ways.
Okay. I want to ask Nath, in Nigeria, the Sharia laws where they are practicing them, they don't stop women from driving. They don't stop women from becoming a doctor or a professor. Is this a kind of Sharia culture that is not as deep as that of Afghanistan?
Well, it seems when we talk of the practical application of Sharia law, the practicality or the execution of the Sharia law seems to differ from country to country, even within the predominantly Middle East Islamic countries. There is, like in Saudi Arabia, there's moderation. In Saudi Arabia, the women cannot drive, the women cannot go and watch sports, The women
But
are
in Kano, in Nigeria, there is a bill in the House of Assembly, State House of Assembly, that if passed, women in Kano, whether you are Christian or Muslim, you'll not be able to drive. How far is that going on?
Well, I think it's talked. It's talked in the House of Assembly because they tried to, the Hizbah police, which is more of an Islamic police, tried to enforce some of these laws or some of these ways of life, and there was a protest even among the Muslims. So the Sharia laws may not see the light of day. And even in Nigeria, the particular state that kicked off the Sharia laws in 1999, Obasanjo said it was political. It was political Sharia. And I think after cutting a few hands, they have nothing to cut again. So I think the Sharia law in Zamfara state, Zamfara is the name of the state, did not really go beyond the eight-year term of 2 terms of the governor then. And today Zamfara is a different place.
Just in a few seconds, I'm going to ask both of you this question in few seconds because we have to go on a short break. Nath, what is the future of Afghanistan in 2 years' time, in 20 years' time? Very few seconds.
Very, very bleak and gloomy.
Wow. Mark and Milan.
Same thing, very bleak.
But how about with all these Talibanistic discussions?
There will be a strong, fierce confrontation with ICC-K and the Taliban, because the ISIS-K wants to also have dominance, and there will be that strong confrontation. It will be very hot.
So Act 2 is just ending. Act 1 was Russian invasion and leaving. Act 2 is Western invasion and leaving. Act 3 is about to start.
Yes,
ISIS versus Taliban.
Dangerous militant group will go head to head, and the ICC-K people are more dangerous because they don't believe in, Taliban believes in governance. Taliban wants to govern. So their Sharia approach is even lenient compared to ICC-K. These guys are ruthless. These guys don't have mercy. They don't believe in anything but Sharia and Allah. So this makes them ruthless. They believe in cut the neck, cut the hand if you do wrong. They blow up places. They don't believe in governance. They don't believe in structured governance, doing things like civilized people. They don't believe in that. So it's going to be a hot one. We're going to see strong, fierce confrontation with these two groups.
Okay. What we will say is watch this space. We will be bringing you the latest happening in Afghanistan as the weeks come and years come, so that you can update yourself. We'll go on a short break. When we return, the Paralympics in Japan is going on. The stadium is still empty, but many people are making gold. Britain is making gold. Nigeria has started manufacturing gold at the Paralympics. I'm not surprised. They are the best when it comes to Paralympics. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. And I'm so glad you're watching. Paralympic is going on right as we speak. And Japan is still making a good sense out of it. We understand that goals are being won by Britain and by Nigeria. I'm so proud of such states that never won gold in the main Olympic, but are showing that they take care of their Paralympics sportsmen and women. Let me just ask our in-house researcher, bring us up to the medal table if you can, Nath Iyakwo.
Medal table as of now, but hopefully maybe before we finish the program. But again, we know that the Paralympics always comes 2 weeks or so after the main Olympics. And what this year has also, because of COVID challenges and other issues, there really nothing much was advertised or we have heard of the Paralympics. But as usual, we have less number of athletes, field and track, participating in the Paralympics. And as the name goes, it is designed for those who are have some physical challenges with their bodies and their make. And again, in the case of coming to Nigeria, we have always had our Paralympics team doing better than the main Olympics. And again,
I have a question there. Does it mean the Nigerian officials, the athletics officials in Nigeria, they take these Paralympics sports seriously more than the other Olympics?
No, not necessarily. I think what is really happening is this Paralympics. The addition I want to make is that again, our hope has been in the female members of the team. They have always outshined the male.
Mm.
Yes, but and again, the where we are doing very well is in the area of weight lifting and areas like javelin, shot put. Because this depends mainly on those individuals and their strength and training, but mostly strength and training, and it's like personal efforts. Because you notice the government really didn't do much. As always the case, planning, no planning for them. But we haven't seen any demonstration or complaint from them yet.
Not this time around.
No, but
Okay.
we're just halfway. The Olympics is halfway now.
Okay,
So,
let me ask how Europe is doing. Mark in Milan, how is Europe doing in Paralympics?
Yes, the Paralympics is going on very well. Europeans are pulling out. So far, anyway, China is leading with the gold medal. Britain is coming second. China has about 64 gold medals and Britain 38. There is a strange arrangement in the Paralympics this year. And that is, Russia has been banned from the Olympics. But what the Russians did was they arranged something called RPC. That's a Russian Paralympics Committee. So it's an arrangement to also get their disabled people to be involved in this great event. So, and they are doing very well. They are third in the list of medals. And we have United States, the fourth. Now, Netherlands, close to me here, are also doing very well. Netherlands has about 18 gold. Ukraine, a European country also in the eastern side, has 19 gold. Then far away, Brazil. Brazil has about 16 gold. Also, Australia is doing well, 13 gold. Italy, our beloved Italy, has 12 gold for now. And Azerbaijan, there is a European country called Azerbaijan. They also have so many gold. Then we have Spain.
Can I please pause you and ask? Can you bring us to history? Why was Russia banned, and why were they not considered after the Putin complained?
Well, because the number of participants that were found in the doping plan was high, number one. Also, there were so many irregular rules that were broken. So regardless of the petitions and the plea, they still were banned, and I think that would take some time. So, but
it's very important that we allow our viewers and our listeners to know that Russian sportsmen were not banned for nothing. It's because there was a state-sponsored doping and some untoward practices that the International Olympic Committee could not condone, even though President Putin complained and responded, but they will not budge. I think we should emphasize that so that we all can know that integrity is important in sports situation like the IOC. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Very good, Dr. Segun. That's why you're a good media man. But they came back with that arrangement of the RPC committee, Russia Paralympic Committee, and it is still Russians, and it's still the same arrangement, but this time with a different acronym.
Yeah, they don't want to give the glory to the state, the state that supported. Yes, okay, yes. Yeah, all right.
Yes, so that's it. So a lot of good activities going on. Nigeria, like we said, has also gotten 2 gold. And like you indicated, it looks as if Nigerians do well in the Paralympics more than the normal one. I think it is that the Nigerian participants are probably more enthusiastic and they really go out to bring their best performance. So we have our lady, forgotten her name now. She did very well with the weightlifting.
Yes, she always does. Yeah.
Yes, and other people too. So a lot of European countries and Africans are doing well. Tunisia is also doing well. Tunisia, I think, is the highest African country that has gotten more gold, about 3. Then Switzerland, close to me here, has also gotten some gold. And we have Belgium, Slovak, Poland, and Italy, like I said. So everybody is doing very well. The game is turning out well, and the precautions of the COVID restriction is still in place. So they are doing this still.
Mark, let me quickly ask you, at the end of the Olympic and Paralympics, how will we assess Japan to have hosted this against all odds of coronavirus pandemic, and especially host population, 60% of who said do not host these Olympics, and they did, and in the eyes of the world, a successful one? How will we assess them?
That's a good one. Yes, Japan has shown that they are still a great country. But take note that this would have happened last year. So what we have is a 2-year event molded together. So they added up what they've done last year, and this year again added up new infrastructure, new sporting equipment, sporting arenas, sporting facilities, and coupled with the one last year. So that could give a very good arrangement. Also, Japan has been able to show the world that in the heat of, last time we said that in the heat of adversity, humanity can be resilient. And they've shown us this, the resiliency in what they are doing. So Japan is quite, they've done well. In fact, the IOC commended them and praised all the efforts and everything going well. With the citizens also cooperating, nobody is forcefully coming to the stadium. It is as the requirements are, and they are following up in their TV back home. Even though also we have this problem of the event itself not being televised very well to the outside world. So I know they are keeping those records for their own legacy, and maybe probably make money out of it in later years to come. So we are not getting much coverage, but we are following up. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll just leave it there so that we can go to other things. Right now, let me see if we can go to Africa and discuss the issue of security in Nigeria, particularly. We would have loved to go into the security, economic, and anti-corruption situations in Nigeria, but for time, so let's just stop at security today. Let me ask our in-house researcher, what are we in the security of Nigeria as of today? Have things gotten better or staying where it was or even worse? Nath?
Well, I think it's getting worse, especially in Nigeria, especially in Plateau State and southern Kaduna.
So what's happening in Plateau State?
Okay, what in Plateau State last week, or is it 2 weeks ago now, there was this reprisal. The travelers who were massacred, travelers who are traveling from Bauchi to Ondo State, but 20 of them or thereabout got killed in Jos, somewhere in Jos. And it sparked off a reprisal attack in a village in Jos, not local government. Understandably, the village is behind the permanent site of the University of Jos. So those killings, triggered off a chain of reactions, and the plateau now is still very tense. There are still killings going on and on. The government has, the state government and even the federal government have not been effective in abating or even stopping these killings. And for obvious reasons, we historically we know Jos is a tourist heaven. Foreign tourists especially get attracted to Jos. Has good weather, good people, good food, and
the fauna, the agriculture, the forest, and
yeah.
But tell us, why did the southern states send coaches to the University of Jos and collected their students from there? Even Lagos State did, and all the Lagos State indigenes were removed from there to their own state. What happened?
Well, the states where the state that have pulled out their indigent students and even people doing business in Jos who are not Plateau indigenes, they don't have any assurance of security for the students and for their indigenes. And let me 1 minute on the University of Jos. The permanent site is in between the two warring factions. It's in between the indigenes who are Christians mostly, and then the Muslims who are settlers. And the University of Jos finds itself in the middle of them. And so they were more on the fire line of firing than any other location in Jos.
Yes,
So
now what I'm saying is that is it not a serious indictment on both state government and the federal government that university students have to be evacuated by their own host, by their own state governments? That is, we have lost confidence in the government of Plateau State, in the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria. What other way will we show? What other way can the government officials, including the president, what other way can they know that they are governing over blood? Is there no other way? I mean, the Lagos State government said by that act alone, I do not believe federal government could handle security. By that act alone, I do not believe Plateau State government can handle security. What other message can one drive into the Nigerian government that they are failing or have failed woefully?
Over the years, not only on this platform, other platform, we've continued saying the federal government of Nigeria have failed in their primary responsibilities of providing security for the citizens, their welfare, and ensuring that there is free movement of people. But we have seen that things have got worse because the killings are ongoing. They have not abated. The federal government keeps telling the citizens that they are doing their best to check this killing of human beings. And Nigeria has now become a country in the world where people are killed on a daily basis and the government is doing nothing. People are killed on the daily basis and the government is doing nothing because the government has failed woefully, especially in the area of securing life and property of its citizens. You cannot even, no, there is no free movement, especially when you have the bandits, the kidnappers, the abductors have taken over the streets, the highways, the highways, Kaduna, Zaria, Abuja Road, and even Zaria, Kaduna Road, or Zaria, Kaduna to Zaria. So, and even the same thing in the middle belt, in the southwest.
Okay, let me ask Marky Milan. The
It's have taken over the place. Even where you have in Borno, where the Boko Haram crisis started, when you have 10 local governments under the caliphate, they have declared part of the country as the caliphate, or even in Zamfara state, where the bandits dictate the terms of ransom. And even when ransom is paid, the bandits decide who should be released, how many should be released, when, and where. So this is this,
and that they should pay interest on the ransom if not quickly paid.
yes.
Okay. These are the Mark. It's a sad situation, and we said it again and again. The whole of Nigeria is not looking at it as a state matter. Uh, the unknown gunmen were used in the southeastern region. Now the federal government is using the unknown gunmen. Anywhere that is killing now, they say unknown gunmen. To what extent has the federal government too been so lackadaisical and showing lack of responsiveness, and to what extent will we say, look, this problem is clearly on you and not even the Talibanistic animals that we have killing people savagely?
As far as I'm concerned, Dr. Segun, there is nothing like unknown gunmen. That coinage is just to keep perpetrators of evil moving. The government can't tell us they don't know who's doing this. The first priority of any government, like we all know, is the security of life of its citizens. Security of life and property of the citizen is the number one issue that every government should address. Now, you can't tell Nigerians that in the midst of all these apparatus of security, they still don't know who is wreaking havoc. That's not true. We are being deceived. It's just a coinage the government brought up to keep this evil still progressing. They know who's doing this. They know where this is coming from. They obviously know.
Is this an Afghanistan kind of template where the government itself surrenders to the invasion of these killers?
If the government itself, like we've said several times here, is not behind it. I mean, we saw what Governor Otom said. We heard what he said. We heard what the security man Adekunle said. So these are we begin to wonder who's supporting this. The government obviously knows about this. They knew about this from the onset. I mean, Sashage, your house, your home there. There's nothing that goes in your home there that you wouldn't know. You don't know unless you choose to put off your eyes. That's it. So the president and the government the present government of leadership in Nigeria knows every nook and corners of Nigeria, everything happening, and they know who these people are. So it's for them to.
Okay. One more question for you, Mark. So what happens to the psyche of the average Nigerian when you see students massacred mercilessly, you see your fellow family members abducted and some of them killed, children killed, and all of them still go to work the following day? Tell me, because I'm missing something here.
Yes, you've always asked this question, and I see that you're passionate about your people. But the truth there is too much occurrence, too much negative occurrence has happened to the average Nigerian, and it has deadened their emotion. So a lot of Nigerians are walking about emotionlessly. They no feeling to what touches me and you because we are in Europe. They see things, and because they've gone through too many trauma, too many situations, too many life.
May I recall? Sorry, Mark. May I recall 5 Frenchmen were killed during the Hebdo crisis 2 or 3 years ago, and I saw Macron and thousands of Frenchmen holding hands together, even with British Prime Minister and some other Prime Ministers walking the rule of Champs-Élysées, saying that we will not agree to this. What motivated them?
Yes, and if you look well, for example, the way we treat dead body, the way we litter dead body, put it around, open it up, they don't do that here. I know you've noticed that. In the West, like for example, it is respected no matter how the person has been killed. Even if a bomb donated on the person's body, and you have that fragile, that scattered piece, they still reverence it. They still put cover. They still have. So that shows how the emotions in this side of the world is. But in Africa, we don't care. I mean, we see these things every day. We're used to it. So people wake up in the next day and go to their businesses, their activities, as if nothing has happened, because it's just another day in the life of the average Nigerian. So emotions are there. Trauma, too many situations of life have cut them up. So they find themselves living just by the day, and that's not very right. We need
I'm going to ask a similar question to Nath. Nath, there are some people in Nigeria today still saying that all of these things, they're just Trump charges against Buhari. Buhari has done very well, and all of these things we talk about, they just one-off, and all this are being done by those who hate Buhari. I mean, there are many people who believe that one. Why? How do they? Are we not seeing the same facts?
Well, that we have this challenge of fault lines in Nigeria, uh, ethnic views, religious views, and then the political view. People who are making uh, merchandise, making money out of the whole scenario. The Nigeria as a country, we have lost our senses of dignity for people who have been killed of no fault of theirs, because it's like life continues, or let's just move on. We don't have any historical sense of remembering those who have departed us, those who have lost their lives, because the government doesn't even seems to care, and it is as Mark has said, you don't just see a dead body on the street and you just pass. Either you are riding a motorcycle or even a car. Here, they will report immediately, or they pick the dead body to a morgue. But that is not the case in Nigeria. We have lost our sense of feeling, we've lost our sensitivity, we've lost our humanity. We were behaving something like more of an animal kingdom,
Mm.
and life goes on. We don't really care. So this is the challenge we are facing now. That well, tomorrow will just go on, and so that is the situation we now find ourselves in.
Thank you very much, Nat. We'll just have to go on a short break. When we return, we want to look at a man called Commodore Adekunle Olaomi, who spoke seriously indicting the federal government and all the issues associated. We understand he has been invited to the DIA headquarters, and he took along Femi Falana to the questioning center. But let's try and see if we can give you an update. Don't worry, we'll be right back.
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. The articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle, inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment, a better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story Magazine. Get Schengen Story Magazine full editions.
Thank you for watching Echo News, and we're bringing you the latest. We want to see to what extent that Nigeria has got conscience. Has Nigeria got conscience, which is very important in running a country. We saw a young gentleman called Commodore Adekunle Olaomi. I've never met him before. I've never heard of him before, but he came on Channels Television and laid the problems of Nigeria squarely on the government, who refused to respond to all the issues. And it is now left for us to see how far we can expect people to make these kind of true revelations of what is going on. He said things that many of us we knew, but we could not put facts to them. Now, he was saying he was an actor. in some of these things, and that the federal government has managed to keep the truth and the real thing from the people. Uh, Many people said his life was endangered, and he was even asked on the show, "Are you not afraid of your life?" And he said, "I don't care. If they want to kill me, let them kill me." True to time, the federal government has invited him through the Nigerian Defense Internal Affairs, Defense, sorry, I take that, Defense Intelligence Agency. They have asked him to come and explain what he meant. He went in with Femi Falana yesterday, but let's first of all bring you up to date. Nat, what did Kole Olawumi said that was so explosive?
Okay, in that channel's interview, sometimes last week, what Commando Adekunle really did was to we had people come forward before to say they know those who are sponsoring Boko Haram. They know people, even ministers, people in the National Assembly, and politicians. But this man, he does not only know them, he was involved in strategic security working for the federal government of Nigeria. He has the names of those people. He knows exactly what they did to subtract from the security architecture of Nigeria, and he said it boldly, fearless, and with courage. And it didn't go down well with the federal government of Nigeria. It didn't go down well with the security apparatus. It didn't go down well, especially with people in the defense headquarters or military intelligence. And so the initial thing they did was to declare him wanted. They declare him wanted, and they were out to arrest him, dead or alive. But it now, when there was already a spark, there was already an outrage and a reaction what the government was trying to do. And what they now did was to invite him to come over to the Department of Military Intelligence. And from what we know of Adekunle, he's worked with them. They were colleagues. They worked together while he was still in service. And he's a man now. He now works as is a professor of global security in Kingsland University, somewhere in Ogun State. And we've not yet heard what the outcome of his visit with Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, their visit yesterday to Defense Intelligence Headquarters. Hopefully, we should be able to pick some information today.
Here's some of the things he says. Studio, please give us audio to what he's saying. It would be great if our viewers can hear him directly as we're showing his picture. So let's listen to him directly. Okay. Let me ask Mark in Milan. Do you think people will want to blow any whistle anymore with this man now who has come out without particularly indicting a personality, a person, but telling us the frustrations in policies and administrations? Will anybody want to come out and say the truth in Nigeria anymore, especially because where, as like we are told, any nation that does not want the truth will always be made criminal if you start saying one.
That's a very tricky one, Sasha. Again, well, the concept of whistleblowing has been in fact, from the existence of man, and a whistleblowing is just to open the lid of a hidden activity, a hidden thing. People will still continue to blow whistle. It's in human nature to not to want to expose something that is going on and hidden. So whistleblowing will forever be with us. It's a natural human phenomenon, and in Nigeria, it's even increasing because there's a realization, there's an awakening in the lives of Nigerians to bad governance, bad corrupt governance, and all these things. So it makes people agitated, and it makes them want to talk and say, hey, somebody's doing this. We don't want this. So whistleblowing will continue. Take note that the press in Nigeria is blowing whistle indirectly, even though they do it in a modified way. But the Nigerian press is always picking on things, opening up secrets, exposing hidden scandals, and it's natural. It will continue. This won't deter anybody. This won't stop anybody from not saying what they want to say. Like he said, which I really respect, he said, killing him or doing any harm to him does not end, and it does not stop anything. It, in fact, increases problem. And he also said, the present government will come and go. So it's not about silencing somebody that says something that will help the life of our country. It's about tackling that problem that has been addressed. Thank you, Sasha, again.
Those interviewers, they asked him, aren't you afraid of your life? He said, I don't care. I want to ask you that question, Mark. Are you afraid of the life of this gentleman?
For him to have come out this bold, that means he has thought about it. He's not a young man, and he has thought about it. He has obviously probably discussed with close family, friends, and all that. So to take this open, not minding anything encounter means he's ready to die. Remember, he also said he's been trained in the field of security and warfare. So at the point he sees himself vulnerable to death. So he's probably not even afraid of that again because he's used to such situations. So he's not afraid. I don't see fear in him. I see what I see in him is somebody that has seen too much ill, too much wrong, and feels if he doesn't say it, legacy, what you call prosperity will judge him. His conscience will judge him. So he's not hiding that. He's coming out and he's telling us what is going on.
Okay, thank you very much for dodging the question. My question was very straightforward. Are you afraid of him?
Yes, I'm afraid of him. I'm afraid what might happen.
Okay, let me ask Nath the same question. I just want to be sure so that the Nigerian government will hear that so many people are afraid. Nath, I'm going to ask you the same question. Are you afraid of the life of this man that one day we may just hear he had an accident and he's dead?
No, I'm not afraid for him because if evil strives when people don't talk. You remember this Horosoke saga?
Yes.
Because he what he has said is the truth and nothing but the truth. So if anything happens to him, definitely Nigerians know who to hold
Yeah,
responsible.
but we normally hold people responsible. Yes,
Well,
we know who has done it, but we
we
all
are all
done the
silent.
other side.
Yeah, because we're all silent, and evil is being perpetuated. But we should thank him for coming out with that zeal, with that courage to speak
Mm.
out, to speak truth to power,
Okay.
to spill the
Speaking one,
bean. In
speaking
short,
one truth to power, the southern state governments, the 17 southern state governments have chosen today to be the day that open grazing law is activated, where no cow ranchers can just put their cow on the road anymore. They will be arrested. Their cows will be confiscated. You want to tell you want to bring us up to date. Out of the 17 southern governors, how many have signed the bill into law, and who is opting out? Please, Nat, tell us.
yeah, yeah. These 17 southern governors, I will want to us to add to that even in the northern state, the 19 northern state, you have governors like the governor of Benue State or Tom, the governor of the governor of what is state now, Kano State, and even Katsina. They have put in place anti-open grazing laws, and
Okay.
the September 1, 2021 today, the southern governors had met on two different occasions and places in Asaba and then in Lagos, and one of the in their communique on these two occasions, one of them mainly was with effect from September 1, 2021, there will be no open grazing in the 17 southern states. And they worked very hard to ensure that their individual states assembly domesticates this law, and it has taken effect. We have a few five governments, five governors who have not yet signed that bill, and the governors, the government or the state that I can recollect from my heart is states like Imo State, who had already said before today that he was not going to sign any bill of anti-grazing. Then
Did,
you
did,
have
did they, did they give any reason? Did they give any reason why cows should be straying around all over his state?
I don't think he gave any reason apart from saying he wouldn't participate.
And the reaction of his people?
Well, the reaction of people is he should leave the government house. He should, yes, because
They didn't put him there, did they?
even his people are still calling him Supreme Court governor. The Supreme Court gave him the governorship from number 4 to number 1, a number of votes
Mm.
in 2019. And then states like I think Lagos, they're already working on that, or maybe there's no grazing in Lagos State, uh, Osun State, not yet, and then which other state? So there are just five of them, but the apart from Ozoduman in Imo, the other governors said the bill is is still in their houses of assembly. As soon as the houses of assembly pass the bill, the governors will sign into law this anti-open grazing bill.
Okay. Macmillan, please tell me this. The reason why this discussion is having fuel is because the president insisted that there must be open grazing, that it has always been like that, it will always be like that. I want to say that it wasn't even the presidency, it wasn't even the federal government, but President Muhammadu Buhari who insisted that there must be open grazing. What is the thinking?
Primitive thinking, Sasha. Primitive thinking. That's to tell you why Nigeria is the way it is now. I mean, if our leader, a whole president could be thinking like this, we all know that the open grazing thing is archaic. Nobody does this in this modern time. You don't carry cows and pass through streets, pass through people's houses, pass through hostels or schools in university, pass through dorms, and it's in fact the sight alone is nasty. And these cows move around, putting their waste on the ground, defecating on the ground, and messing up everywhere. Now, it shows how our leader is thinking. The man is not thinking. He's not thinking the way that's progressive. This is not progressive. This has nothing to do with. In fact, sentiment aside, it has nothing to do with Fulani or Nigeria or that. No, it is that it is not orderly. It is not. In this modern time, such things are looked at as very, very primitive. So for our leader to make that, to enforce such a thing shows how he reasons. And the Northerners also, you see, they reason biasly. They don't reason, come to a very good, concrete conclusion of issues.
Will you say that his word has become a law, considering the fact that the federal government itself, I mean the government itself, they didn't come out openly. That is the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Federal Ministry of Forestry. Not the institution itself is not saying anything concrete about open grazing. It's only the
yes, everybody's afraid. You know, sadly, Buhari is tending to show dictatorial kind of leadership. So people just assume, they just follow him without coming to their own reasoning faculty. They just, no, he has said this, let's do this. And a lot of time, people also think it is the opposition parties that are trying to spoil things. So it's a sad thing. The Northerners are not helping issues. The governors there are not thinking rightly, and they are all backing up. The Ministry of Agri and all institutions are also not helping. Everybody is just following up an unprofitable arrangement.
So what do you, let me borrow from your crystal ball if you have one. What do you think will happen as from today? Yes, if you have one. What do you think will happen as from today if some cow herdsmen should start moving their thousands of cows across the bridge and getting into the southern state governors? What do you think, southern states, what do you think will happen? Do you think they will really confiscate those cows and arraign those people before their courts?
With the 12 signatory now, we'll be seeing that, because they can't sign those papers for nothing. So laws will be enforced, and cows will be taken. They will confiscate their cows and probably jail the people because they've signed. So everybody.
We saw Fayose arrested some when he was the governor of Ekiti State. Fayose passed a law like that, and he arrested some people, and they accosted some cows. Maybe the cows were eating in the government house. I'm not sure now, but I'm sure they must have distributed the cows among state assemblymen or something. I'm not sure.
No, it's free eating now, and it's okay to do that, because when this kind of law is passed, there has to be an enforcer. It has to be enforced. And take note also that we can't say the cow breeding is like any other occupation. It's like the driver driving his Okada or his machine, his boss. It's like the mechanic doing this. So one can use your own occupation to the detriment of the whole people. You can't come and muzzle up people because you're doing something. I mean, here in Schengen, for example, we're doing our media things. We don't force. Everybody's doing things in their own corner. Different people are doing different things. So everybody stays on his line. You don't come to use your own to choke people or kill people or make people feel bad because you're doing your activity. So
I remember. Thank you, Mark. I remember doing a story on Osun State when Aregbesola was the governor, and they arrested a cow in Osogbo, and it was the problem was not what to do with the headman. They arrested him and then arrested one cow that went astray. And the question was, where do we put this cow? Where do we arrest? Where do we tie this cow on behalf of the state? And so the local government chairman said, come and tie the cow behind my house. And one commissioner said, no, you can't. You are just a local government chairman. Then the other one said, tie the cow in my house, a commissioner. And then and this is true story. And eventually, when the commissioners could not agree who will take the cow, they now tied it in the house of the state governor. And we never knew what happened. Nath, do you remember that story? We never knew what happened to that cow eventually.
No, I can't recollect.
No, God, why can't you recollect such a story like that? So the cow disappeared within the state house. So we're going to have a lot of stories coming out because today is 1st of September. That law is out in at least 12 states. We still expect more states. And so it's going to be cow galore. It's state
cow galore. Cow galore. I wish I was there now to join it.
So watch out this space. We'll be bringing you cow stories as from next week. I can tell you one more thing about cows in Nigeria. In the during the days of the Biafra, the Nigerian Civil War, there were so many booby traps, and the federal troops could not cross from the north to the old eastern region because there were just booby traps all over the place. And the federal government reasoned, how do we get into this place and take over Anambra and all those places at that time, Enugu? And the only thing they could resort to was cows. They now took the cows so that they would go through the mines that have been laid for human soldiers. And these cows, as soon as they move on the traps, they will explode. And so the federal government troop will not follow that path again. And they managed to open up an entrance towards Onitsha area. And of course, they could not penetrate fully, but it's on record that cows were used by the North to open up the northern part of the Anambra or the southeastern region so that they could penetrate. So that was how cows.
That's a beautiful story.
Yes, I know that one. And so the cows are very important to the northerners, not only to make money, but even to fight their wars. And Nat, before we go on break, any other story on cows and grazing? Or what do we expect Uzodimma to do if all the other 4 governors should sign? Will he not ostracize him?
Well, the Imo, the people, the good people of Imo State have sent a strong message to Uzodimma. You either join your colleagues or you ship out. And I don't know if they have given him an ultimatum to do that, but it's not going to be easy for him when the anti-grazing laws takes effect as from today in the southern states of Nigeria, and Imo inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one other thing I can quickly ask you, we have two southern governors who got their tickets on PDP, but they're now APC. How are they faring? I'm talking of Ayade and Umeahi. They're carrying the APC on their head. Any ulterior motives for them?
Well, I think nobody really is hearing from them, especially the Cross River man, Professor Ben Ayade. Nobody is hearing from him because even the PDP he's going to, they really haven't handed over the party
The
to him.
APC is going to, you mean? It's moving from PDP to APC, isn't it?
Yes, I said in the APC, they are supposed to have handed over the party structures to him, but that is not done yet.
Oh, he's having problem there.
Yes, and the same thing in Zamfara State. The APC have not handed over the party apparatus to Matawali.
Matawali.
They have
So
not.
they're trying to say that it was just a personal decision. It wasn't. It wasn't a party decision. You know.
Yeah, it's even goes further that the decision was made for self-interest and not the interest of the states they are representing and the people and the votes cast to get them the first instance to get them into government house.
Well, thank you very much. We'll leave it there. We'll be watching those two states, Cross River, governed by Ben Ayade and his team, and Umeahi, that is has all both of them crossed over to APC, and they are not accepted, even including Matawali in Zamfara. So he's having problem with Yeri, who was his predecessor. So, but all of these things, they're happening right in our eyes, but I'm not too sure that the people even understand what's going on and how it's affecting low or little performance of the state governments. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we want to remember that music maestro, Victor Uwaifo. We'll be playing some of his music for you, and also we'll be asking the question of Ahmed Bola Asiwaju Tinubu. Where is he? How is he? And who are those who have been visiting him? I hope they've been going on their personal money and not spending government money to visit him. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to News Echoes. We're glad you're watching. And unfortunately, we had the news of the passing away of that music maestro, guitar boy, Victor Uwaifo. He cut across many disciplines. He was an entertainer. He became a commissioner in the government of a state. And then finally, he ended up in the academics, becoming a professor of music. He was a very dedicated man, a gentleman, a man of family, and he came to the age of 80 and passed on. We wonder, dedicate this section of our program to him, and if we can get music, sound from him, let's listen to Victor Uwaifo. Well, we'll still bring you more of Victor Uwaifo while we tell you what he has done and how far he has affected music. We'll definitely bring you more of Uwaifo on this program before we conclude. If I may ask Nath, what condolences can you bring us or bring his family? Nath, are you still there?
Well, the man, Sir Dr. Professor Victor Efosa is gone, but still with us, and he will be with us for a long time to come.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Go ahead.
As we say it, he came, he saw, and he conquered, and he has moved on. And we know that his music touched all of humanity then and now, and many years to come. And he looks like he was an easygoing man. He could associate with any level of human beings in anywhere, in any strata of society. And I think he took this music thing into another level, and people are just building on what the solid foundation he laid. So we share this moment with his family, his friends, his colleagues, and we want to continue to encourage them with this word that Victor Efosa lives on.
Mark, what will you say to this genre of a man?
Wow, genre of a man. Yes, he's a legend. That's a legend. There is I grew up listening to the American rock music, and there is this particular rock star we used to have that died a long time ago called Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix, yes, he was great with the guitar. At the point he played the guitar, and the guitar sparked fire. Now, Victor Efosa is exactly, when I see him on stage, I remember Jimi. He has that similar kind of talent and creativity. He's good with the guitar, very good with the guitar. I mean, he could play the guitar even backwards. He could play it on his head, and that's a sign of who has real good skills. Victor Efosa, he's also called Efosa Uwaifo, was a legend. He lived well, and like Ambassador Nath said, he was also a mentor to so many upcoming artists that in his days, in the early days, until now. There's a musician called Sonny Okoso, a Nigerian musician called Sonny Okoso. Sonny Okoso is a protege of Victor Efosa. Sonny Okoso learned music from Victor Efosa. And Sonny Okoso himself became a legend too. So that means Victor Efosa had a very good influence on Sonny Okoso. Also, Victor Efosa was able to sing songs that continue to, that will linger on till generations to come. You know, Joromi, Guitar Boy, and so many of these songs are like, these are nostalgic, legendary songs that rings a bell whenever we hear them. So it's sad that he had to go, but he died well, accomplished. 80
Yes.
Yes, 80 years.
I know something little about him. I entered the University of Lagos to read political science in 1973. And as my parents were dropping me to put my luggage into the Hall of Residence, I saw the guitar boy dropping his wife and to study law. And everybody was looking at him. Look at Victor Efosa. Look at Victor Efosa. And Victor Efosa, there came this dark, slim lady. That's his wife. That's his wife. Everybody was pointing at her. And the next thing was Efosa opened the boot and they brought out a refrigerator. How she's brought a refrigerator and became the news of the campus. And yeah, we understand that she was a Ghanaian, and everybody was, she got all the accolade and all the respect throughout her 3 years till reading law at the University of Lagos. I was there, and so it was momentous for us, and so I got to see wife for anytime he came for his wife during the weekends of those years. And of course, I graduated and she graduated. And so it's a very pleasant occasion to talk about him, someone who has been very formidable and respectable. He respected himself throughout. And
Yes,
here we are.
that's an observation somebody noted, and that's the fact that he never had any scandal. There was
No,
never any scandal shit on him. It
no.
has always been good news, good information, no scandal, no
Yeah.
strange talk, one of something, you know, and that's a good one.
I'm going to ask the studio to please prepare something for us to listen to before we end this program. But we have to move on to other topics. But then we're coming back to Victor Efosa before we leave today's program. Nath,
Yeah.
how far, Nigerians will say, how far for Chief Bola Ahmed Asiwaju Tinubu? We understand he's recuperating somewhere in London. We wish him well. And but do we know anything at all about him?
Well, all we have had, and it looks people are collaborating with each other to say, for those who have come over, I think the latest team came in from Lagos State House of Assembly. I think the principal officers came to see him, and they came out and told the whole world that Tinubu is as fit as
At the fiddle.
as a fiddle. He's doing great. He's fine. Everything is fine. Well, I think people choose to say what they want to say for reasons best known to them. But the political timetable, especially of the APC, seems to be running contrary to Tinubu's wish or whatsoever he would have wanted. Because by September 4 or thereabout, 2021, they are going to the party is going to zone offices, starting from the presidency and then other principal positions in the APC at the national level, state level, and the local government level.
Should they be feeling jittery?
Who?
Tinubu, because if they should zone presidency to the north, he's in serious trouble, isn't he?
Well, but as most people keep saying, it is his proxies that have been running the campaigns for him. He himself as an individual has not said a word concerning 2023 presidency.
But you don't have to say a word when you are giving money to burnt market in the north. You are giving money to hospitals. You are going to their meetings and conferences and parties. What else? What else? What language do you want us to read? One language I read was he wasn't at Yusuf Buhari and Zara's wedding.
Because he was handling his health challenges.
Yeah, but if according to all these state assemblymen, I hope they spend their personal money to go, because you can't be spending Lagos state government money to go and be visiting one individual abroad. It's not cheap, and Nigerian Lagosians are suffering somewhere. Well, let's leave that one aside. But if he's that fiddle as they say, he should have been at that wedding, shouldn't he?
Yeah, definitely he should have been at the wedding, especially when everybody was there. Who in Nigeria was there? Even non-APC members were there. Atiku was there.
Atiku was the father of the day.
Okay, Femi Fani-Kayode was.
Somebody said he get crashed.
I don't know whether he got his lunch eventually. Femi Fani-Kayode had to protest for lunch.
Yeah, that's what the caption said. Let me ask Marky Milan. Marky Milan, should Tinubu and his group be worried? Because in the last 7 days, the social media has been awash with Atiku receiving ambassadors and foreign officials greeting him as if he's the next president. I mean, they showed pictures of Atiku receiving all these people, and he was laughing and feeling confident. I mean, and you know the way the Western leaders behave. Once they sense that you are going to be the next president, they start calling favor from you. And it went all the social media, and I was thinking, okay, so why are you showing us all this? Should the Tinubu group be wondering and be afraid?
Yes, this still shows that there's so much conspiracies and backdoor arrangement going on in our country. Now, Atiku, that tends to be an opposition leader with his party, PDP, now was hobnobbing comfortably at the wedding of Buhari's son. And like Ambassador Nath said, he was even the father of the day. He held the boy's hand, and so what we're seeing now is what we know before, that there's a Padi. Fela calls it, Fela, the great legend Fela Nicola Kuti. He says it's Padi government. Padi government. With the Padi means it's friends government. It's me and people that are all of the same group. So Tinubu has a lot to panic. It's obvious that he's not favored as before.
Yes, but it will not be politics that has ruined his ambition. It will have been his body, the health of his body, isn't it?
Yes, the health of his body.
Or the combination of both.
Yes, both. And Ambassador Nath also said most things are done on the proxy on his behalf. So how do we elect, how do you bring a leader that doesn't really do many things on his own. That means he's not strong enough. So his health is an issue. We all see it. It's obvious. He walks with a walking stick. When he's walking, he doesn't have that free flow of movement. And looking at him also very close, you see that he doesn't look too sound. He doesn't look too sound. He has decaying teeth. Now, a decaying teeth are signs of a kind of reaction of tablets, medical medicines, and too much intake of tablets. Now, sometimes the reaction is the teeth begin to get brown. So our man Tinubu has brown teeth, not rotten teeth, but brown from reaction of too much medical medicines and pills and all that. So, and those pills are obviously for his health. So, and that reaction comes in his teeth.
And plus the fact that we don't know his real age.
Plus the fact that we don't know his real age. He lies about his real age, but we obviously know that he's above.
What is the claiming age? Is it not 69? Or
yes,
is it up to
he's claiming 60. He's claiming 68, 67 or so. But the man probably will be close to 80.
Yeah, the Afenifere man who has passed on now said there's no way that Tinubu will not have been up to 80, because it's been a long time he's been on the scene and he's been classmates of Obas and the rest. How could he still be 69? I mean, he was very, very, very. You remember him?
We don't judge people's age with how long they've been on the scene. A person could come to scene at a very tender age anyway. But we know of the fact that if you look at his structure and the way he is, and if you also go back to some historic things about him, he's above 70 to getting to 80.
Honestly, none of us should make fun of the older Nigerians, and I'm talking of Obasanjo, that level, because of the poor or even the lack of documentation in when they were born. So nobody should make fun of them. But one should equally say that they should be honest to the best of their ability. Because we've seen Obasanjo celebrating the age of 79 or so, and his junior sister celebrating 83. So when Obasanjo was confronted, he said, look, I don't really know my own age. And let me, he came up. I mean, and honestly, I will not blame him, because he just have to get something. They
know they lie because that time in the late 30s, in the late 20s, 30s, and thereabout, there's a way they mark the ages when they give birth. So there's things they do to take note of people's age. So they all know their age. Everybody's just lying. They're trying to look.
Yes, because all the colleagues of Obasanjo, they are much older than him, and so they're wondering how will Obasanjo. Personally, at 60-something, my parents were educated, so they easily remembered my birthday. But I want to give it to those who are born in rural areas. They may not have the problem of documentation. Nath, is it age matter for Tinubu? Let's be honest, his body cannot carry the job he is planning to do, he's ambitious to do. His body is saying, I can't do this. Is it an age matter or is it a sickness matter?
I think it's more of health. But age and health, they go pari passu. They are more of twins. And
do you think will he let go of his ambition to say, look, I would have loved to do this? Or we will do it in the Nigerian way? We brought in Yaradua, who was not particularly well in his body. We brought in Buhari, who had to spend months and months abroad. to fix his health with the Nigerian money, while other Nigerians could not use the same money to fix their own health in their country or abroad. Is it going to be the same thing with Bola Tinubu because he has been in the political scene? So let's put a sick man and others will be running the country while the sick man is sitting in Asoro.
The challenge we have always had in Nigeria is it is other people who make that decision, not the individual concerned. And people make such decisions for their own selfish end and and what they are going to benefit from the system. And we have heard of people who said, even if it is one day, the records will show that I was a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So the people are so desperate to occupy such political positions in Nigeria or even other African countries. They just want to get into there because they know the trappings of such offices. And so they can negotiate, even if they want to die, at the point of death, let them be president.
Ahmed Bola Tinubu, a quick recovery, and that's our position. And well, we also note that Atiku has started behaving like president in waiting. We're trying to make sense out of it. But more importantly now, let's remember the one who has done Nigeria proud is still our music maestro, Victor Uwaifo, who rose from music to state government administration, being a commissioner, and from there to academics, claiming the highest position, professor of music. Studio, as we close this program, can we have Victor Uwaifo, who affected his generation and the generations behind him? Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to introduce to you the guitar boy, Victor Uwaifo. But that's how far we go today. That was Victor Uwaifo for you, and we are so much happy that Nigeria produced him and he blessed Nigeria. And we will just say thank you very much to Nath Iyakwo in the city of London. Thank you for being with us in the last 2 hours. To Mark Milan, thank you very much, MacGodwin, all the way from Milan. And to the crew in Milan as well, in our studio in Milan, we want to say thank you very much for giving us a good platform. Until next week, when we bring you all the latest, all the news, information, facts, and analysis for you to have an informed opinion. On behalf of News Echoes, Schengen Stories Media, I say thank you for watching, and we'll be back next Wednesday. Enjoy. Victor Uwaifo. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.